In this video I'm going to show how I make macrame bracelets like these. It's 3 rows with the outside rows and then a centre row which locks them in place. These are a few that I've done in nylon cord, in a pastel rainbow and then in a darker rainbow. For this one I'm going to use some shades of pink, lilac and silver. To get started, you take the colours that you've chosen to go in the centre and then you attach them to the board. Try to keep the middle at a point that you can remember. And then get them firmly on the board, like this. And then you take your colour that you decided for the outside, again find the centre and then leave a little bit of an end there for working over your loop. I won't go through this in major detail because I've already done a separate video on how I do the loop, but it's just hitch knots or lark's head knots to hold this one in place. Right, put that to one side and then just knot down until you've got it as long as you want it to be. Remembering, as in the other video that I did, the first knot is over and the second knot is under all the way down. For mine I've done 18 and then including the first one, that's 20. So then I'm taking it off the board and then you twist that bit into the loop part. Don't worry if it looks a bit small because there'll be a bit of a gap where you add the knots for the start of your bracelet. So once you've got your loop, attach the loop to the board like that, making sure it's secure and pinching it in at the centre. And then choose the order that you want your first set of knots to be. And it's basically all square knots. And what you're doing is you're doing a square knot with these and a square knot with these, and then you're taking 4 in the centre and doing a square knot, and you do that all the way down. So I'm starting out like this. I clip them to the bottom when I'm working over them. I just find it easier that way. Some people do, some people don't. So on the outside I've got my purple and the inside is lilac. You're just basically working a normal square knot of that. Now you can put your colours in whatever order you want them in. I tend to do it as a mirror image. So for me, once again, I'm going to have the dark purple on the outside, and the next one with the silver, and the next one with the pink, and then the lilac. So I attach those ones in the centre, and then work the square knots over. And you can do this the other way around if you want, so that you match exactly. But I like to do it this way just to make it a little bit different, but you can do it either way. And then I take these two and taking the silver to the side and the silver to the side, then you work in the pink ones over the lilac or whatever colour you've picked for yours. And those are the 2 rows that you'll just repeat over and over again. So once you've been working for a while and done a few rows, you will end up with a pattern starting to emerge that looks like that. Obviously, depending on how you do it, what order you put your colours in, it might look slightly different, but you can play around with the colours and whereabouts you put them. I quite like the ones done in the rainbow, but I thought I'd have a go and see what some of the colours look like when you use solid coloured cord. So I'm going to go to the end of that and then come back and show you putting the end part on, which for this one's going to be a button. So for this bracelet, I get it to about 1/2 inch shorter than I want it to be, and then I take the 4 strands in the centre, which in this one is pink and lilac, but it could vary obviously, and I turn them into the holding cord and flip them to the board. You could always do this pattern all the way down, but I like to finish it off by taking the 2 remaining strands on either side and doing a few square knots at the bottom. This sort of pulls it in, ready to have the button on, but this is just personal preference. So once I've done that, I can take it off the board, make sure these are nice and tight, and then for this cord you can just snip and either glue it or melt it. I just glue it because it's because it's quicker. This leaves me with 4 strands, which I'm going to put a button on. And because it's got 4 holes, 1 cord through each, that's why I tend to finish off by melting these ones rather than pulling through the button. If it's a bigger bracelet, sometimes you can put all of them through. If you can't get these through, you can just smooth the end by melting it. They don't always want to go through first time. There we go. This one's a bit frayed. And then once you put the button in, you can just knot the end and trim it. Like I say, you don't have to put a button on, you can choose other ways of closing it. Sometimes people do the plaits and tie them in and things like that, or you could put a nice bead on the end. And then just seal the ends of those so they don't fray, and then just very carefully slightly melt this so that the knot doesn't come undone. If you're using different materials, you might want to put glue on it or something, because not everything will melt in. And then once you've got that, you can tie your bracelet on. And then that's what you end up with. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. I quite enjoy making these style. I love seeing the way they turn out, even though I've made quite a few of them. and I hope I inspired somebody to do whatever. Thank you for watching.